Hey YouTube, welcome back to Breaking In. I'm Damien Torres and this is episode 34. I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum this week as I've got an overwhelmingly large amount of work to get done. Apologies for the lack of updates on social media or just appearing live anywhere. I'm just trying my best to not be distracted for now. Uh, it's a lot I've got on my plate. I'm still working on character designs and breakdowns for that comic pitch I mentioned a while back. I'm trying my best to tackle the majority of that this week. This has been a very busy week in general for me. And I'm also studying up on some techniques for that test I'm going to be taking for the possible animator job. So, because what they want for the test is very specific in terms of digital files and layers and breakdowns. So it's a different kind of process that I'm more accustomed to, but I should be able to get to that in no time. I just got to get through the rest of this week first, and that's going to be where I spend the majority of my time from here on out. And I'm doing all this while still working and completing on some other commissions. So it's been very hectic. But I did manage to finish that painting commission that I talked about. I'm going to be meeting with the client next week to finally pass the piece on to the client. And here it is right here. So it's an acrylic painting. And it goes to show you that, well, all of us here, we just don't do comic art. We've been taught a wide variety of traditional techniques and digital techniques, and just different areas of commercial art in general. So, we could do paintings here too. It's not just spandex and superheroes. So this is a fun piece to work on. It took a longer than I expected, but I'm glad to be done with it, and she's happy with it. So that's what matters most. And I've learned a lot from doing this one. I try a lot of techniques that I don't normally do with paintings, and this is I think it's the first landscape painting I've done in years actually. Probably not since high school. During my time at the Cuba School, most of my paintings were like portraits or figures and stuff like that. So, yeah, I learned a lot from doing this one. And it definitely piqued my interest again in terms of painting. So I hope to get some more done sometime next year. Next 2 days will incorporate a lot of drawing. For Friday, I'll be at the Spider's Web drawing alongside other artists. So I guess we'll be doing sketch covers and whatever kind of sketches people would want, or just sketches for ourselves. We're gonna stay past closing time. I'm not sure exactly when we're all gonna leave, but the closing time at the Spider's Web is 8 o'clock usually, so maybe like an hour or two later. Then on Saturday, once again I'll be at the Gun Hill Brewing Company, where my friend Peter and his group, the Bronx Nerds, are hosting the Valiant Free comic book fair. So Peter had talked to the guys at Valiant Comics, and I guess one thing led to the other, and they gave him like a whole bunch of comic books and I guess other Valiant related products. So it should be cool. There's going to be like giveaways and free books. I think there's going to be guest speakers. It should be a fun time. And on top of that, Peter had commissioned me to do a Valiant sketch cover that he's going to pass along as a gift to Valiant. So that on itself is pretty nerve-wracking because these guys are going to be seeing it. I mean, I've met with them before during my time at Hubert, but it's been a whole year now. So, yeah, that should be interesting. So, yeah, that's all what's on the agenda for the next few days, next couple of weeks, I guess. One last thing before I end the video. A couple of days ago, I went to the Body Worlds exhibit at Discovery in Times Square. I highly recommend it for artists. You see real anatomy of muscular structure and the skeletal systems, and it's all fully there on display. Unfortunately, no photos are allowed, and like they take your bags beforehand. There is one section where photos are allowed, and it's a really cool display. You see this big like horse muscular system, and the skeletal system of the horse as well, with two riders on the back. Like one of the riders is like holding brains in each hand. It's it's pretty sick if you're not like into that kind of stuff. But for me, a lot of this stuff was very was a visual learning experience. But they have descriptions of how the body works, and you get to see how the body changes based on conditions or just general aging. You get to see bones of like arthritis and osteoporosis. Um, you can see who's a smoker and who isn't just by looking at their lungs. It's a very interesting exhibition. I had never done like the bodies exhibit before, so was a really good alternative. So I definitely recommend it. It's in Times Square, New York. Um, it's next to a bowling alley. It's right down the street from Jekyll and Hyde. So yeah, if you get a chance, definitely go for it. And if you're interested, there's also separate exhibits going on there too. One is Avengers, and the other one is the Hunger Games. And I know there's a lot of fans for both of those. So that wraps it up for my segment this week. Tune in next week for Drop In Aries. And as always, guys, keep on keeping on. And more news as it comes. Thank you guys for tuning in.